Hello, teachers of emergent bilinguals. Welcome to my blog, Linguistics for Teachers at able.com. My name is Ingrid Heydrich, and today I want to talk to you about content objectives for a content area. That is your content area, ENL, English as a New Language. Last week, I talked to you about my plan for ENL standalone. And I talked to you about a plan that is standards-based, meaning we have specific goals that are in line with other content areas. It's evidence-based, meaning research has shown best practices for emergent bilinguals, like explicit instruction of linguistic skills. It is theme-based, meaning we cannot learn language in a vacuum. Emergent bilinguals need to be able to build content knowledge and learn language together. And the same thing goes for standalone. We're not going to teach them linguistic skills in isolation. Skills-based, meaning we are going to follow a scope and sequence of linguistic skills September through June, where our goal is by the end of the year to have our students performing at a certain level of proficiency. And finally, assessment-based. We're going to give them some formative assessments based on the standards and based on our content objectives, which is what we're going to talk about today, and language objectives, which are the linguistic skills that allow you as the teacher to measure their progress over the year. And so, of course, the goal is that this plan allows English learners to build the language literacy and content knowledge they need to learn in school. So when I talk about content objectives for a content area, I'm talking about linguistic skills in ENL standalone. Okay, that is your content area, and your objectives for that content area are going to be teaching vocabulary and world knowledge, phonics and morphology, as well as handwriting, grammar, and written expression. That is the content of the English language, okay? That is what students need to learn to be able to succeed academically in school. Now notice that world knowledge is one of those linguistic skills. We cannot teach language in a vacuum. Emergent bilinguals need to expand their content expertise so they can build background in English language arts, social studies, science, and math. We know that some of our students come to us later, they're older. They may or may not have had the kind of academic background that is required in their current grade. And by choosing themes and setting content objectives, we are helping to make sure they have some content knowledge that they're going to need in their other subjects. So I want to give you an example of what I'm talking about. The theme that I chose is my school and my community. And under that theme, let's say I want to do this theme for maybe 2 or 3 weeks at the beginning of the school year. Under this theme, I have a couple of topics. One of those topics is going to be my school building. And what do I want my lesson objective or my content objective to be? Remember, a content objective is when you set a goal for learning that your students will be able to achieve by the end of the lesson, that they will be able to do independently by the end of the lesson. And so my content objective here is that students will identify the name, location of the building and become familiar with the places and activities of their school. Okay, this is very important for emergent bilinguals to be able to do, especially at the beginning of the school year when they're in a new environment. And I have also created a sample lesson for you to use if you would like or adapt to your classroom. So here I've created a theme and content planner for you to download and use. And as you can see here, I've created months of the school year, okay? So we have September through October, November through December, January and February, etc. I've taken into account time lost to testing, school holidays, and just, logistics, because I understand that you're not going to get every single week of the school year. As you can see, I've come up with some sample themes. September, October, I'm going to focus on my school, my community, and move into a little bit about New York City and New York State, or whatever state you happen to be in. January, February, we could talk about food and celebrations, move on to the seasons and climates around the world, and end the year talking about our heroes. This is just a sample for you to consider. You can copy it or you can create your own. So let's look at the description of this theme, of this unit that I'm creating. In this first part of the school year, students become accustomed to their new school building and community. Okay, that's what I want for them. And as you can see, I have created some sample topics. This is my school, my school's neighborhood, who lives in the neighborhood. Okay, these are just some sample topics. You can make this as long or as short as you would like. And as you can see, with each week and sample topic, I have created my content objectives. And so this is just as I did with you on the previous slide. Students will identify the name and location of their school building and become familiar with the places and activities inside. And if you go to my sample lesson, which I've provided for you, you will see the kinds of activities that I have come up with where students will be able to perform this objective, okay? And if you scroll down, I'm giving you your own planner. I want you to come up with themes and descriptions for September through June. And if you can't think that far ahead, then just focus on September and October. I want you to think of some topics under that theme. Do you want to spend 1 to 2 weeks on a theme, or do you want to spend more like 4 to 5 weeks on a theme? Up to you. Finally, your content objectives for each week of learning. So I don't want you to be overwhelmed. That's why I'm taking you step by step through this process. But if you stick with me this year and follow my plan, I hope, and I'm pretty sure and confident that I am going to help you teach your emergent bilinguals not only the linguistic skills that they need to perform academically, but some content knowledge as well. Stay tuned for next week, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for listening.